Good morning and welcome to GSKP, also known as Georgia Sunflower Kansas Peach, a place where we can talk about anything and everything safely. We talk books, we talk movies, we talk life events. We run it all down through there. I'm so glad to see you. It is June 9, 2025 on a Sunday morning. Again, I want to thank you for joining me. Y'all, we're going to be talking about Mr. Tyler Perry's Straw. And from what I understand, this is an awesome movie. I got to give it to him. Um, let's listen to a little bit more of our theme song, and then we'll get to the matters at hand. Alrighty, welcome everyone to GSKP, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach here on YouTube. Again, thank you guys for joining me. We are going to be talking Tyler Perry's Straw. Okay? Yes, we're talking Tyler Perry Straw this morning, you guys. Sunday, 9:54 a.m., June 8th, 2025. Let me start by saying I am not a huge fan of Tyler Perry's. Now, I'm going to be honest, when his plays and everything, when he first came out, yes, I liked his plays, and he was faith based and Lordy Jesus. But Tyler Perry has changed into something else. And I know you can't stay in the same place, and change is a part of growth, etc., etc. But Tyler Perry has gotten kind of away from his morals. When he first started, there wasn't a lot of cussing and this, that, and then as soon as he got some money, he started getting nasty and, sexualized and all this thing. And he has a habit of always portraying the black woman struggling and she ain't gonna make it, and there's always some drama with the black woman. And it is, but there's more to us than just the struggle and waiting on some man, some light skinned man to come and save us. And then to, this idea of this Madea character, I can't stand her. I cannot stand that Madea character thing that he does, because no, that is not a depiction of black family. No. But for those of you, that it is and whatever, then you go head on. But for me, I can't really relate to that kind of um and I'm not saying there's, well, I can't relate to it. Let me say that. So, um, we're going to talk about Straw, but before we talk about it, let's watch the trailer. It was, I must say, for it being a Tyler Perry film, I am going to give it, if I have to give it a peach pit or a sunflower, it gets a sunflower. I gotta say. And and I enjoy Tyler Perry's movies, some of those movies. Some of the, like I liked Diary for a Mad Black Woman because I could relate to trying to kill that guy. I could totally, that was totally my life at one time. So I totally related to that movie. And the movie Praise Together. I liked that one. And the movie Who in the Hell Did I Marry or whatever that was. Yeah. I enjoyed all those movies. I really did. I enjoy, For Colored Girls, but the recurring thing that's in these movies are all these struggling black women. It does not make any difference about the financial status, the marital status, the whatever status. The black woman is always in this struggle, 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 struggle. She's never, ever happy, safe. None of that. None of that. She's never that. And she's always waiting on some man. It's always something some man has done, or she's waiting on some, like I said, little old light skinned, green eyed, po ass man to come save her. And no, we're not doing that in 2025. And if that's the life, you go ahead. But anyway. Anyway, let's get to the trailer because this was a good movie despite all that same rigmarole about the struggling woman. That is definitely in the film. Once we get, and actually we don't even get past that because the whole movie is this woman struggling. But let's watch the clip.
I didn't mean to do this. Something inside of me broke. I told them I need my money to get my daughter's medicine. She's sick. I just need to cash my check, that's all. No, God! Please, come on out. I just want to do what's right for my baby. Lock the door. Tell him close the blinds. We need to figure this out. I don't want you to get hurt. I got put out today. We have nowhere to live. And that man robbed me. I need it for my daughter. You want to kill me? You want to blame me for robbing this bank, and I didn't do it. You can't help me. Nobody ever helps me. This is bad, Janaya. This is not your average bank robbery. This is about giving her a chance. It seems like you had a lot to get over today.
Now, I must say, this movie was absolutely awesome. Excuse me. Might not be crazy about Tyler Perry films and that kind of thing, but this was a good movie. It really was. Um, Now the only problem, like I said before, but we're not going to go back over that. You know, of course, that's the black woman struggle thing. But excuse me. But um the only thing really that that just kind of got me was uh the hostage situation was kind of long and drawn out for me. Um and also um the ghetto in the store kind of thing, you know, that just gets all over me too. We're we just have to act like animals and be just out of control just because we're poor. You know, you have to do this low life, ratchet ghetto crap. I'm so tired of seeing that. I'm poor. There's a lots of poor people around here that don't act like they don't have any sense. They're just poor. That don't mean you have to be trash because you're poor. They cussing and they tearing up the store and I'm just tired of our people being portrayed like that. But anyway, the movie has Taraji P. Henson, Teyana Taylor, Sinbad, um, Sherry Shepherd. Uh, they had a great. The movie had a great cast, and as far as I'm concerned, they all did good. I mean, they played their parts. They really did. They played their parts. So, they also had, oh, I cannot think of his name, and he played on A Different World, and that tells my age, and you know how long ago that was. But he was Captain Major somebody. I cannot think of his name, but he did an. I mean, everyone. Only person to me that did too much was the landlady. She just got on my nerves. Ugh. She was just horrible. I could not stand that woman, and she was just too much. Um, the two black. Okay, let me tell you. I'm here to tell you right now. It's gonna be spoilers. So if you don't want it spoiled, you better not listen to me because I'm supposed to tell it all. It is so good. Okay, it starts out. This movie is about and around Taraji, and her name in this film is Janiyah. She is a single mother, living in the so-called ghetto and the projects and the low income and that kind of thing, right? Um, she has a daughter, and her daughter's name. Oh my goodness, I forget. I forget what her daughter's name is. So we'll just call her Kylie. Okay. Um, it starts out with her and her daughter in this one bedroom or this studio apartment that is dirty and filthy and no air conditioner and one room and a bed and a little bitty kitchenette and ceiling fan missing blades and fan in the window and Just yuck, okay? And not because she's a trifling woman, just because it's just because, well, yeah, kind of, sort of, because all she had to do was kind of clean up. Because, like I said, just because you're poor don't mean you have to be nasty. You don't have to be, trifling. But anyway, nasty, dirty little apartment, and it shows her and her daughter. They're laying in bed, super hot, fan in the window, all that kind of stuff. They show some dirty dishes, and I really didn't care for that because the woman that she portrayed in this movie worked two jobs and worked very hard to take care and make sure that her daughter had everything she needed. Okay. Also in this movie, the daughter is special needs, and not because of mental capabilities, but because of health. She had some issues which I was never sure what they were. Well, no, yes. The little girl had seizures. Um, so starting the movie, the mother and the daughter are getting up and getting ready for a day of school and work, everyday routine. She has the daughter in the bathroom, in the tub. They're taking a bath. They're just normal mom, daughter, children, routine stuff. She don't want to go to school. I can bathe myself. No, you can't bathe yourself because you'll fall, and we don't want you to fall again. And, just regular kid and mom stuff in the morning, trying to get ready for the day, and kids aggravating the devil out of her, and I don't have time for this and that, and I'm trying to get to work and get you to school. I do not have time. I don't want to go to school. Do I have to go to school? And da 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 da. Okay. I loved it. It was good. It really is a good movie. So as her and the daughter are going out, she's got getting out of the apartment. She's going to this little hoopty car, of course. She don't have a decent car. And there's a man sitting out on the sidewalk, and this man is Sinbad. And as you know, or maybe you don't, Sinbad has been, from what I understand, in pretty bad health. So it was good to see him. And he's playing an old, street guy, drunken street guy, or whatever. So every day he's sitting out there, and he's begging for a penny here and a penny there or whatever, and she sees him, and as she does every day, she speaks to him or whatever, and if she has, she gives to him. But this certain morning, she's in a rush and she's kind of flustered and she's trying to get out, and she tells him, Mr. So and so, I ain't got nothing for you today. I'm in a hurry. I ain't got nothing for you. And he kind of gives her this look, and she's loading her daughter up in the car, and she goes over and gives him her last. It might have been $1 or two or whatever, and they exchange. And he tells her, oh, you're going to be blessed, and this, that, and the other. And at the same time, the landlord is standing out on the balcony with one of the other tenants. And she starts yelling at her, at Janiyah. Oh, you can give him money, but you can't give me my money. You better have my money today, or I'm going to evict you. And of course she was cussing. She had, this black woman with this foul mouth, and of course she's cussing all out across the street, this woman trying to get her baby to school. She don't care about the baby. She just cussing and my money and this, that, and the other. So Janiyah says to her, Taraji, well, today I get paid, and when I get my break at 10 o'clock, I'll be here and I'll give you your money. And of course, you better have my MF money here, MF money there, and see, and that's the part. Just ugh. And so Taraji goes on, okay, you have a good day, and then she says, can you ask him to turn the music down so that my baby can sleep for school? And of course, this ratchet low-lifted landlord, she a list of cuss words. He pays his rent. See, that kind of stuff just gets on my nerves. It just gets on. But whether I like it or not, there really are people out there like that. They're really, and those are the ones that we call NIGGAs. Okay? That's them. When you watch this movie and you see that landlord and you see them in that grocery store, those are NIGGAs right there. Right there. Those are prime examples. Okay, so anyway, Taraji loads up her baby. They go on off to school. She heads to work. She works at the local grocery store. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, guys. So she works at the local grocery store, and she has the worst boss in the world. This old cranky black man. He yells and he hollers and he bosses and he screams and he's never happy and he's always loud and he's just too much. Oh my gosh. He's one of them people. Oh Lord. So anyway, when she gets to the store, it's in total chaos because it's the first of the month. And it has, of course, all these black people. And they have them acting like animals in this store. They crawling over each other. They hollering and they screaming. They cussing all up and down the aisles. And, oh, well, it's the first of the month. Like, really, Tyler Perry? Are we going to keep, you of all people, you're going to keep portraying our people like this? Though there are people like this in all races, not just ours. Not just ours. We are not the only people that live in ghettos. And I'm really tired of our own portraying us like that. You guys perpetuate that worse than they do, than the ops do. Every movie is this, or they selling drugs, or they somewhere popping their butts and whining and grinding and highly sexualized. It ain't so much them, it's us. Anyway, sorry about my little rant there. Sorry. So anyway, she gets to the grocery store, and the owner, manager, whatever he is, he's talking crazy. He bossing. He this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah. And so she goes out to her station, and somebody trying to buy some liquor with some wick things, and she tells them, "I'm sorry, you can't do that." And the little heifer in the line, "Oh, I've been doing this," and of course she had to cuss, call her out her name, and then when they couldn't get the liquor, they threw it on the floor and broke it, and then here comes this manager man. He's another NIGGA, and He come hollering at her, telling her to hurry up and clean it up. And my thing was, why don't you clean it up? You standing there, you see this woman. She's got a line all the way back into the back of the store. And then you got these irritated, ignorant ass people up in here. And you talking about, you clean it up. Child, Bill. Anyway. She goes to do that. And he's hollering and riding behind her with all this old crap. And during all of that time, the school calls. Something about her daughter, you know. So she's trying to talk on the phone and get the mop and this, that, and the other. And she's on the phone with the school and she's taking too long to get the mop. So then the angry boss comes back there and he screaming and hollering at her about taking too long to get the mop. And then she has to ask him, can I leave because of my daughter? And the school is called and he's just cussing and fussing at her. And then he gives her 30 minutes to go and see about her daughter and come back. And of course, he's threatening to fire her every move she makes. Every time she takes a breath, she's about to be fired. I'm a fire. So she's getting ready to leave and she asks him for the check and he cussing and all this old stuff. And so she gets her check. So the first thing she does is see, because there's a bank right across the street, she stops at the bank to see if she could get it cash, but for some reason she couldn't. So she left the bank and she went ahead to pick up her daughter. And she goes to see about her daughter, or no, she goes to see about her daughter. Now, let me back up because during the getting up in the morning, her and the daughter says to Mom, Mom, are you going to give me the money so that I can get my lunch and they won't make fun of me and I can get regular lunch instead of special lunch? And the mom says, yeah, how much is it? She says, $40. The daughter says $40. The mom asked, did the teacher say this in front of the, and daughter said, yeah, of course. And okay. So back to the bank scene. The reason she's going to the bank and she asked for her check is so that she could get the $40. So when she went to see about her daughter at school, she could give him the $40. Go, she had told the landlord she was going to pay rent, whatever, and then gone back to the job. So she stops at the bank and she couldn't cash a check for some reason. Whatever. So she goes on to the school. When she gets to the schoolhouse, the police and the CPS are there. Because there's been this certain teacher that's been kind of keeping an eye on Taraji's daughter, Janiah's daughter. Now, as we learned earlier in the film, Janiah's daughter suffers from seizures. So she has bumps and bruises on her frequently because of these seizures. Janiah has told the school, my daughter's, is sick and this, that, and the other. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep yawning. But anyway, the school is aware of her situation and her daughter's situation. This is not new to them. But anyway, you do have those of us now who feel as if because we have some clean clothes and we're driving a nice car and we have this and that we're so much better than somebody. So we're very judgmental. Those are known as house NIGGAs. Okay? Those are also defined as coons. Okay? So, this school teacher who is aware of this child's health issues and also aware of the fact that this young lady is single and struggling and doing the best she can. Okay. So she has decided, she saw some bruises on the daughter, so she's decided to call CPS. And when Janiyah gets to said appointment, they got her daughter wrapped up and getting ready to take her away from her. And she's screaming and yelling and crying and screaming. And the mama's all upset and crying and screaming and yelling. And yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking my daughter? Don't take my daughter. You know she's sick. I work 2 jobs. You know this. You know this. You know this. But they take her anyway. So then Janiyah goes back to her job, and on her way back to her job, she's driving and she's going over the course of the day in her mind, and traffic. She's in traffic, and this white boy in a gray and black Corvette, which I call the typical white boy car, which I cannot stand them cars, with the black stripes in the front and, the racer thing. I can, when I see a car painted like that, I just, hate it. Ugh. Anyway, but it's not for me to drive, so hey. So anyway, this person, they got the race car, the driving fast car. So she has a little hoopty and she's just, she's driving along. It's raining. He decides she's not driving fast enough or right enough or whatever it is enough. And he's, of course, calling her every name in the book under his breath and hollering out the window and calling her bees and all kind of stuff. And she's just, of course, frightened, which she had every right to be. And he pulls up beside her and calls her all kinds of names. And she, of course, she's startled and she's looking crazy and all this kind of thing. And she decides to, hey, she didn't say anything back. She just went on about her business, but it still wasn't good enough for Mr. Race car driver. So he decides that he is going to teach her a lesson. So Janae Taraji has gone on about her business. Speed Racer catches up to her, bumps her car, and runs her off the road. Spins her around, turns her the other direction, takes off. Yes. Now, mind you, her poor little car is already a hoopty. Okay? Already a hoopty. Yeah. It's a clown car. Do you hear me? But she's trying to make it. She's doing her best, She's got medicine to get for her daughter. She's trying to pay the bills. She's got 2 jobs, all of this. She's really struggling. So, during the course of her being run off the road, we find out that this person is a police officer. And he is a butthole too. Yes, he is. He's. Now we got to give Tyler Perry. Now he did stick that little thing in there about the cops that are dangerous and this, that, and the other. So it was him and a woman. And while this is going on, he's telling the woman cop what he's gonna do to her and calling her all kind of bees and this, that, and the other. So the woman cop is telling him, you need to back off and you need to chill out. Okay? That's what you need to do. I gotta give her that. She did tell him, you back off and you cool off because we're not doing that today. We're not having that. So again, we have to applaud her. But at the same token, she still ticketed Taraji, Janae, and she also towed her car when she explained to her what her situation was. Even though, of course, the officer, do you have your license and your registration? Because the police had literally been called on her rather than for her. See, they weren't called for her, they were called on her. So the police tows her car. But she's determined, she has things to do and I can't afford this. So she, in turns, walks to work. After all this has gone on, she, in the rain, walks to work, back to work. I've got to get back to work because I have this daughter that needs medicine. I got bills. We still have to go to work. Poor lady. She anyway, I'm going to work, So, of course, she gets back to work and this butthole manager is yelling and screaming because she goes straight to her cash register. She didn't stop, go, nothing. He comes and he's yelling at her and screaming at her, of course, and you need to, well, actually, he was talking in a pretty decent tone when they were out in front at the cash registers, and then he told her, you need to come on in the back with me. He was still a butthole, but he wasn't screaming and yelling. He didn't do the real screaming and yelling until they got in the back. And when he got in the back, oh my gosh. Ooh, he yelled and screamed and hollered at that girl till she just couldn't hardly see straight. And then he wanted to be sassy and try to be funny, and she's been trying to explain to him that I got to get my daughter her medicine and this and that, and I need my check. Oh, it'll be 3 days and all this kind of stuff. Now, mind you, in the midst of all of this, let me go back because it was so much going on, you guys. I mean, it really was a good movie, and you will enjoy it. She stops by the house and stops by her apartment. And the landlord, because she had told her, my break is at 10. At 10 o'clock, I'll bring you your money. Of course, the landlord done told her, you don't have my money here at 10 o'clock. I'm going to put it out. And of course, 10 o'clock came and went. And that lady put her stuff out on the curb. Her and her baby stuff outside on the curb. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. That was her spirits are already broken, because they've trying to take her baby or taking her baby and couldn't cash her check. Car broke down. The police got called on her. Now this lady has thrown her out. She's just to the rim. She's filled to the rim with despair. And she's still, she goes back to work. She's trying to go back to work. And when she goes to work, as I said, that old ignorant boss is hollering and screaming and yelling and talking stupid and what have you. Okay, while this goes on, a young man comes to the back and says, do you guys have Black and Mild? And somebody answers, and then the old man says something smart, and then out pops the gun. Shut up. Put your hands on the table. Give me all the money. They can cuss too, okay? Uh-huh. They can cuss too. So they're trying to get the money. Taraji's like, oh no, I need mine. Just give me mine because enough is enough is enough. So the the burglars, the robbers are like, you ain't getting, I ain't gonna be none of that. And she's like, please, please, just let me, because I got to do this out there, and they ain't gonna give it to her. Shoot, Janae said, the devil is a lie. You gonna give me my money. She attacks the robbers. Yes, child, she attacks the robber. Her and the robbers is fighting and tackling and fighting. Lord have mercy. She messed around and got a hold to the gun some kind of way and BAM! She shot the burglar. Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord, it was, ooh. Girl, why did you do that? My goodness. Okay, so then, because the robber called Jania's name, and that's only because he read the tag, her name tag. Because he came in at the beginning, as I said before, and said, Jania, do you know if they have any black and mild, and threw her off and all this kind of things of that nature, and blah, blah, blah. So after Jania has fought with this man and shot him, the other one or two burglars that was back off in the store, they ran off after Jania shot said burglar. When she shot him and killed him, do you know that stupid boss of hers got up and started yelling and accusing her and telling her she's going to jail because she helped set it up, and you knew them and they knew you and you had something to do with it, and you this and you that, and the next thing you know, y'all, Jania shot that man. Do you hear me? She snapped. She just snapped and she shot him and killed him. That was that. After that, now mind you, she wasn't all out of control or spinning around in a circle and talking stupid or nothing, but she was gone. She was gone because she had reached her limit. She had just reached her limit. Okay, from the grocery store, she leaves again, no problem. She says, I'm gonna go over here to the bank because she got a check. So she goes over to the bank and she wants to cash her check, but she can't cash her check because she doesn't have. She goes up to the thing and she wants her check cash, but she can't cash her check because she doesn't have any ID. And this is where the story really gets started, when she finally just really gets into the bank. I'm going to tell you this, that this movie very much puts you in the mind of a movie that Denzel Washington starred in. And I think the name of the movie was called John Q. I'm not sure, but I think I'm just going strictly off of memory here because I thought of that while, doing this. And it was the same kind of situation, a family, except for I think in John Q, They were well, if I remember, because it's been a very long time ago when that movie came out, and it's again starring Denzel Washington, and I think he was affluent. I believe he was very well off, but his child was sick, or he was, he was to do. He wasn't struggling too bad, if I remember correctly. He might have just been a, working family, middle class family, and had a daughter or a child that was really sick, and he couldn't afford the medications and things of that nature. And he went to a hospital, and he took over this hospital. He held the hospital as hostage, basically. And it was all in the auspices of getting medicine for his son that his son needed to either live or die. And I think they were having some kind of issues with insurance and affording the medication and blah 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 blah. That was a really good movie. If you get the chance and haven't seen it, for those of you who are much younger than I, go and Google the movie with Denzel Washington. I believe the name of the movie is John Q. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's a sick parent worried about a sick child, and whatever means necessary for my child to live. Whatever I got to do. But in this case, the twists and turns are so different. This is what makes the movie great. This is where the movie gets good. Once she's held up in the bank. Now, I think I'm going to stop here because I want you to enjoy the movie like I did. Like I always say, I want you to enjoy it like I did. Because I've told as much as the trailer, so that you'll want to watch it. Um, it again, I've got to give Tyler his props on this. I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry. If I had to give a sunflower seed or a peach pit, I would give a sunflower seed most definitely. This movie was good. Bravo to you, Tyler Perry. The storyline was very good. Again, I think it was adopted somewhat from John Q, but not totally because the settings are different. A lot of differences, but a lot of similarities. Again, if you get a chance, go see it. It is Straw, Tyler Perry, and it's on Netflix. So if you get a chance, go see it. Please go see it. I mean, it's a good this time. Well, I mean, not just this time. It's a good watch. It really is. It's a good watch. I gotta give it to Tyler Perry. And like I said, I'm not a big crazy fan of Tyler Perry's, but this was actually a good watch. Well, guys, we've come to the end of our review. I want to thank you for joining me here on GSKP June 8th, 2025 on YouTube, where we talk about movies, TV, live, books, whatever. It's a safe place we can talk about it all. As I always say, first, let's do this, something I haven't done in a while. Happy birthday to all the June birthdays, to the May, to the April, all those that I've missed. Happy birthday. You guys have to get on me and let me know what I'm not doing. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me so I can get better at this, so we can get better at this. I can't do it without your input. As I always say, you guys, this is June, right? So Juneteenth, it's time for us to do it big. Show out for the people. Show them what we're working with. Again, Wear your masks. It's summertime. Wash your hands. You know, we still got bugs and germs and things of that nature out here. Be careful. Swimming season. Yay. I'm going to try to go swimming either today or Tuesday or something. I'm like, no, yeah, it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. Yeah, because I just washed my hair. Anyway, again, June 8th, 2025. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Be careful out there. Say your prayers. Watch out for one another. As I always say, I am my brother's keeper. I love you. Bye.